Now we start radioactive decay. There are various kinds of radioactive decay. First, what is radioactivity, that we need to know. It is a spontaneous emission of radiation from unstable nucleus to become stable. So there are certain unstable nucleus which try to become stable, and they can become stable only by releasing energy. As they release energy, their binding energy per nucleon increases and they become more stable. So there are various kinds of radioactive decay. We have given some name earlier. Later we will get to know about the radioactive process. But remember one thing, the emission is spontaneous. It cannot be controlled by external agents such as temperature, pressure, chemical reaction, etc. Because nuclear reaction takes place due to unstable nucleus, the decay takes place due to unstable nucleus. And chemical reaction, temperature, pressure, etc. are responsible for change in chemical reaction and not for nuclear reaction. They cannot affect the nucleus. So the radioactivity phenomena cannot be controlled from outside. It is unstable nucleus which can become stable. There are various radioactive decay processes. The first one is alpha decay. The next one is beta minus decay, and third one is gamma decay. These are the most common radioactive phenomena which was discovered at the beginning. These are very common radioactive phenomena. Then beta plus decay and electron or K capture. These are uncommon phenomena, but they also take place. They have been discovered later on. Then we have proton emission and neutron emission. So these are the various radioactive decay process by which unstable nucleus or radioactive nucleus try to become stable. So let us try to understand one by one. In alpha decay, what happens? Unstable nucleus releases 2 protons and 2 neutrons together, that is in the form of helium nucleus. So it is He24++. So alpha particle is nothing but helium nucleus. Its mass is approximately 4 times mass of proton. Charge is twice the charge of protons. The energy is of the order of few mega electron volt, and the speed is of the order of c by 100. This is an alpha particle. In beta decay, beta particle is emitted when a neutron gets converted to proton, emitting beta minus plus antineutrino. Later we will come to know what antineutrino is. So when a neutron inside nucleus gets converted to proton, then beta minus particle is emitted. What is beta particle? It is nothing but an electron. Its charge is E minus. Mass is that of electron. Energy ranges from 0 to few mega electron volt, and speed varies between 0 to c by 10. That is the order of speed, 0 to c by 10. Energy is 0 to few mega electron volt. Mass is that of electron. Charge is that of electron. This is beta minus decay. Gamma decay takes place when neutron or proton inside nucleus jumps from a higher energy level to lower energy level. As nucleus also has different energy levels similar to atom, where electron jumps from higher to lower energy level and emit photon. Here, neutron or proton jumps from higher to lower energy level and emit photon. So gamma particles are nothing but photons having charge 0, rest mass 0, effective mass E by c square, energy few mega electron volt and speed c. So this is gamma photon. Beta plus decay takes place when a proton inside nucleus gets converted to neutron, emitting beta plus and neutrino. Beta plus is nothing but positron or positively charged electron. Its charge is E plus, mass is Me, energy varies between 0 to few mega electron volt and speed varies between 0 to c by 10. That is the speed of the particle. Electron capture or K capture takes place when the number of protons inside nucleus is more. It exerts more attractive force on orbital electrons, and sometimes one electron from K shell jumps to nucleus. That is why it is called K capture, as electron of K shell jumps to nucleus. So when a proton inside nucleus capture an electron from orbit, it gets converted to neutron, producing neutrino, and during this process some energy is released, that is electron or K capture. In proton emission, from the name itself it is clear, unstable nucleus releases a proton along with some energy. In neutron emission, unstable nucleus releases neutron emitting some energy. So these are the various radioactive decay process where energy is released from nucleus such that it can become more stable. Remember, in radioactive decay process, the product is more stable. It may not be completely stable because the product may further decay to next element and the process may continue. So there are processes, it goes on until the final element which is more stable. So there are various radioactive decay process. The product is more stable than the reactant. Now, in various decay process, we need to get first the energy of reaction or Q value of reaction. First we get alpha decay. In alpha decay, what happens? A nucleus AXZ gets converted to A minus 4YZ minus 2 plus 4He2 plus some energy is released. As you could see that the number of the charge is conserved, it is Z minus 2 plus 2 is Z. Number of nucleons is conserved, A minus 4 plus 4 is A. So number of nucleons is conserved. The reactant which is converting to product, the reactant is called parent nucleus. And the product nucleus is called daughter nucleus. So X is parent nucleus, Y is daughter nucleus. So in alpha decay, mass number decreases by 4 and atomic number decreases by 2. So Y element goes 2 steps left in the periodic table. Now what is the Q value of the reaction? Q is equal to Mi minus Mf into C square. Mi means mass of X nucleus minus mass of Y nucleus minus mass of alpha particle into C square. Generally in periodic table, nuclear masses are not given, atomic masses are given. So how could you get nuclear mass from atomic mass? Just subtract mass of the electrons from atomic mass to get nuclear mass. So for X nucleus we get MAXZ, this is the atomic mass, minus ZMe. This gives mass of X nucleus minus M A minus 4Y Z minus 2 minus Z minus 2Me. This is the mass of Y nucleus minus mass of 4He2 minus 2Me into C square, that is the Q value of the reaction. Here from we can see it is minus ZMe, it is minus minus plus ZMe is cancelled. Here from minus 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 2Me and minus minus plus 2Me. So Me is also cancelled and we are left with MAXZ minus MA minus 4YZ minus 2 minus M4He2 into C square. This is the Q value of alpha decay. As you could see that mass of element X, mass of element Y, mass of helium, these are constant. So for a particular alpha decay reaction, Q is equal to constant. So in alpha decay, for a particular alpha decay, Q value is constant. In every nuclear reaction, the Q value is constant. Different nuclear reaction has different Q value. A particular type of nucleus has a definite Q value. Now, this much of energy is released. This energy, Q energy, is distributed to Y and helium and their energy changes. Now we need to know how much energy is taken away by helium nucleus. Let us see kinetic energy of helium or alpha particle. Suppose we have a X nucleus, it is initially at rest, breaks up into two parts, alpha particle and Y nucleus. Alpha particle goes with kinetic energy K alpha, Y nucleus goes with kinetic energy Ky, and we consider initially the nucleus was at rest, that is Kx is equal to 0. So according to the expression of Q value, we have already said Q is equal to K final minus K initial. K final is Ky plus K alpha minus K initial is 0. So Q value, the energy is released, is distributed between the daughter nucleus and alpha particle. This is the first expression. Now how much energy is taken away by alpha particle? Let us see. Now here from conservation of linear momentum, final linear momentum under root 2 m alpha k alpha minus under root 2 my ky is equal to initial linear momentum, that is equal to 0. So here from we can write m alpha k alpha is equal to my ky. This is element X which has mass number A, element Y has mass number A minus 4, alpha particle has mass number 4. So I can write 4 mpk alpha is equal to A minus 4 mpky. It is approximately equal. So here from I can write ky is equal to 4 by A minus 4 k alpha. This is the second equation. Using second equation in first, I can write Q is equal to 4 upon A minus 4 K alpha plus K alpha, or A by A minus 4 K alpha, that is equal to Q, or kinetic energy of alpha particle K alpha is A minus 4 upon A into Q. As for a particular nuclear reaction, Q is definite, kinetic energy of alpha particle is also definite. That means if we can measure kinetic energy of emitted alpha particle, we can identify the element which has emitted alpha particle. As you might be knowing, every person has a definite voice quality. By hearing the sound of a person, we can identify the person. Amitabh Bachchan has a different voice than Shah Rukh Khan. Listening to the voice, we can say who is speaking. Similarly, as we can detect a person from his voice, we can identify. Similarly, with kinetic energy of alpha particle, we can identify who is emitting the alpha particle. Okay. So let us see a particular question based on it. An element having mass number 220 is emitting an alpha particle of kinetic energy 5.4 mega electron volt. That is, an element of mass number 220 is emitting an alpha particle of kinetic energy 5.4 mega electron volt. Then what is the Q value of the reaction? So this we can obtain from the expression Q is equal to A by A minus 4 into K alpha, that is 220 by 220 minus 4 into 5.4 mega electron volt. So it is 220 by 216 into 5.4 mega electron volt. Solving this, we have 5.5 mega electron volt. That is the Q value of the reaction. Herefrom we can conclude one more thing, that in alpha decay, about 99% of kinetic energy is with alpha particle. If 5.5 mega electron volt energy is released, 5.4 mega electron volt is with alpha particle, and just 0.1 mega electron volt is with daughter nucleus. So most of the energy released in alpha decay is taken away by alpha particle. Okay. So this is the alpha decay. Now next we have beta decay. Beta minus decay, to be precise. What happens in beta minus decay? As I just said, a neutron inside nucleus gets converted to proton. This happens when number of neutrons inside nucleus is more, then a neutron gets converted to proton. An electron or beta minus is emitted due to conservation of charge, and an antineutrino is emitted due to conservation of spin. What is that conservation? That we are getting later on. The main such beta minus decay reaction is C614 gets converted to N714, emitting beta minus and antineutrino. So this is one such relation. So in beta minus decay, the mass number remains unchanged, atomic number increases by 1, plus beta minus plus antineutrino. And obviously some energy Q. Now what is the Q value of beta decay? Q value of beta decay is Q is equal to mass of X minus mass of Y minus mass of beta particle minus mass of antineutrino into C square. Mass of X is m AXZ minus ZME. This is the nuclear mass of X minus mass of AYZ plus 1 minus Z plus 1 Me. This is the mass of Y nucleus minus mass of beta particle, that is mass of electron. Antineutrino is a particle similar to photon having zero rest mass, so it is 0 into C square. So here from we can see minus ZME and here from plus ZME is cancelled. Minus 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 Me and here we have another minus Me. So mass of electron is not cancelled now. So here from we can write Q is equal to m AXZ minus m AYZ plus 1 minus 2Me into C square. This is the Q value of beta minus decay. In beta minus decay, as you could see, that mass of X atom minus mass of Y atom minus twice the mass of electron into C square. This is the Q value of the reaction. In beta minus decay, as you could see, we have already seen that the kinetic energy is mostly taken by lighter particles and not by heavier particle. So this Q is distributed between beta particle and antineutrino, and for this reason kinetic energy of beta particle lies between 0 to Q. Kinetic energy of beta particle is not fixed, it varies between 0 to Q, and that is why with kinetic energy of beta particle we cannot identify the beta emitting element. Q is definite for a reaction but not the kinetic energy of beta particle. Beta particle's kinetic energy varies between 0. Now, as I said, antineutrino, this is obtained because of conservation of spin. Why it happens? Let us see. Neutron is a fermion having spin plus minus half. Proton is also a fermion having spin plus minus half. Electron is a fermion having spin plus minus half. Previously antineutrino was not discovered. It was known that neutron is converting to proton emitting beta particle. Now let us see what happens. Plus minus half and plus minus half could give minus 1, 0 and 1, but it cannot give plus minus half. So if antineutrino is not emitted, the relation do not conserve spin. So it was assumed that another particle is there which is similar to photon having zero rest mass, is a packet of energy, but it also has spin plus minus half. So antineutrino is a fermion having spin plus minus half, is a packet of energy, and detection of antineutrino was difficult because it rarely interacts with particles, with other particles, and that's why it took long time to detect antineutrino. So antineutrino is defined in terms of conservation of spin, and from that concept we got one more idea of particle antiparticle, because every fundamental particle has its antiparticle. If particle and antiparticle collide, both of them gets vanished, and that phenomena is called pair annihilation. And in pair production, a pair of particle and antiparticle is produced, that will be getting later on. So, for every electron there is a positron, for every proton there is an antiproton, for every neutron there is an antineutron. So every fundamental particle has its antiparticle. So this is beta minus decay. Before going to gamma decay, let me tell the fourth one, beta plus decay. In beta plus decay, what happens? A proton of nucleus gets converted to neutron. Due to conservation of charge, a positron is emitted, and due to conservation of spin, a neutrino is emitted. So, when a proton of nucleus gets converted to neutron, then positron and neutrino are emitted. The phenomena is not very common, as protons being higher in number in nucleus is rare. So what happens? When proton gets converted to neutron, one of the charge has gone out, so atomic number decreases by 1, it is beta plus and it is neutrino. So what is the Q value of the reaction? It is mx minus my minus m beta plus minus mass of neutrino. So it is z minus 1, this is also z minus 1, and we are left with mx minus my into c square. This is the Q value of beta plus decay. So we got beta minus decay and beta plus decay. This beta plus is nothing but positron. There we got electron. Positron is antiparticle of electron. Neutrino is antiparticle of antineutrino. What happens to particle antiparticle? That we are getting later on. Now the third one is gamma decay. What happens in gamma decay? Similar to atomic energy levels, there are different nuclear energy levels for neutrons and protons. When a neutron jumps from higher to lower level or a proton jumps from higher to lower level, then gamma photons are emitted, as the inner nuclear energy gap is of the order of mega electron volt. Gamma photons are photons of energy of the order of mega electron volt, so gamma photons are emitted. So what happens in gamma decay? Neutron jumps from higher to lower level or proton jumps from higher to lower level. There is no change in number of neutrons or protons, only an excited nucleus AXZ gets de-excited AXZ plus gamma photon. The mass number do not change, atomic number do not change, chemical symbol do not change, only excited nucleus gets de-excited by emitting gamma photon. So this is gamma decay. Next we have electron capture or K capture. What happens when number of protons in nucleus is more? Then proton of nucleus captures one electron from orbit, from K shell. This proton gets converted to neutron, emitting neutrino and energy. So what happens? A nucleus AXZ captures one electron, becomes Y, as one proton is getting converted to neutron, atomic number decreases by 1, mass number remains same, and a neutrino is emitted along with energy. So what is the Q value of the reaction? Q is equal to mx plus me minus my minus m nu into c square. This is the Q value of the reaction. Or we have MAXZ minus ZME plus ME minus MAYZ minus 1 minus Z minus 1 ME into C square. So here from you can see minus ZME and here minus minus plus ZME is cancelled. Here plus ME and here minus 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 ME, that is also cancelled. So Q value is MAXZ minus MAYZ minus 1 into C square. This is the Q value of K capture. Okay. So these are the Q values of different radioactive decay process. You just need to put the atomic masses from the periodic table to obtain Q value of different reactions. In neutron and proton emission, what happens? The sixth one, proton emission, AXZ gets converted to A minus YZ minus 1 plus proton plus energy. This is proton emission. In neutron emission, AXZ gets converted to A minus 1 X dash Z plus neutron plus Q value. So in neutron emission, chemical symbol do not change. As mass number changes, the X dash is isotope of X. Neutron is emitted. Q value we can find as from the masses of X, Y and neutron or proton. So these are various radioactive decay process. Now as I said that there were certain kinks in binding energy curve. Those kinks explain that the nucleus having less number or even number of proton and neutron are more stable, less active, and nucleus with unpaired neutron or proton are less stable or more active. If we plot the graph for various element between proton and number of neutron graph, the stability line is found to be shifting towards higher n. This is the line of stable nucleus. This is n equal to Z line. For lighter elements such as He4, C12, O16, these are stable nucleus. They are having equal number of neutrons and protons. So this angle is 45 degree and equal to Z line. Equal number of neutron and proton make them stable. Any deviation from this make them unstable. But if atomic number increases, suppose for iron 56, there are 26 protons and 30 neutrons. So as atomic number increases, number of neutrons needed is more for stable nucleus. If we talk of Pb206, it has 82 protons and 206 minus 82 neutrons. All these nucleus are stable nucleus. But the ratio n by z, for lighter element it is close to 1, for heavier element it is close to 1.6, for intermediate element it is between 1 and 1.6. So what is the reason? That we need more neutrons in heavier elements to make it stable. The reason is that as number of protons increases, Coulomb repulsion among protons increases. So to compensate the Coulomb repulsion or reduce the effect of Coulomb repulsion, excess neutrons are needed which provide nuclear attraction, which separate the protons such that Coulomb repulsion decreases. That's why in a heavier element, number of neutrons is more for stability of nucleus. Any element outside the stable line are radioactive. If ratio is less, suppose some element has Z in higher number in comparison to number of neutrons, it needs to be stable, so it has to decrease the number of protons and increase the number of neutrons. That is, the proton will get converted to neutron. Such elements will do beta plus decay. It will reduce proton and increase neutron to become in stable line, so they are beta active. If for some element number of neutrons is more in comparison to number of protons, they need to come to stability line, they need to become stable. So what they do, they decrease number of neutron and increase number of proton. So what they do, they convert a neutron to proton, emitting beta minus plus antineutrino. So elements above stability line, above the line of stable nucleus, become stable by beta minus decay. Elements below stability line become stable by beta plus decay. If the ratio is even smaller, if it is somewhere here, more protons, then they directly emit proton and become stable. So proton emission takes place. If some element has higher number of neutrons, they directly reduce the number of neutrons, their neutron emission takes place. So elements above stable nucleus line either do beta minus decay or neutron emission. Below the line become stable by beta plus decay or proton emission. So these are the elements which become stable by beta minus decay, beta plus decay, proton emission or neutron emission. Gamma decay takes place when neutron or proton jumps from higher energy level to lower energy level. That's the reason of gamma decay. Alpha decay takes place when nucleus is bigger in size. As you know, the nuclear range is short range. If nucleus size is bigger, it cannot hold all the nucleons together. So some nucleon makes a group and goes out of the nucleus. That is what is alpha decay. So this is the reason of various radioactive decay.